many of these Jefferson Pilot Sports SEC stations. Kentucky in their new denim blue road uniforms. Walter McCarty looking down low.
Tennessee in the man-to-man defense worked extensively on this in practice yesterday.
Epps off the dribble. Knocks down a tray. And you hear the Kentucky contingent. They are here in great numbers.
Epps a little bit of a surprise starter in this game, Tim. Wayne Turner's been starting, but Rick Pitino decided today to throw Epps into the starting lineup.
3 guards starting for Tennessee as the turnover, the end result. Aaron Green committing that foul by the Volunteers. As we look at the lineups for today's game, beginning with Kentucky, Epps is on the floor along with Anderson, McCarty, Antoine Walker, and Tony Delk.
Torrey Harris has got his hands full down underneath with Walker. He's a very good post-up player. He can also take it outside and shoot it with the best of them.
A quick Kentucky start, already 5-0, and we've only played a minute.
Keep an eye on this young man. Brandon Wharton, one of the best freshmen in the Southeastern Conference, gets very low with his dribble over the ball. Hard to take the ball away from him.
Shane Williams, shot clock at 10, looking for a pick from Torrey Harris. Kentucky's defense very active. Shot clock whittled down to 3. Wharton gives it up. 2 quick turnovers already by the Volunteers.
Anderson with a good block that time.
Walker. Hamer brings it down. Essential that he play well today.
Tim, I think he's the key to this basketball game for Tennessee. If they've got any kind of chance, he's got to play 38 minutes, score at least 25, and get double figures in rebounds. That's easier said than done, by the way, against Kentucky. There he is. Good double down by UK.
Epps picks up the foul. There's that Kentucky lineup we mentioned earlier. Rick Pitino's club coming in at 21-1. And the noteworthy change, Epps on the floor rather than Turner.
Boy, is that some kind of quick lineup. And they can't relax because there's somebody over there that's ready to play as much as they are.
Damon Johnson. Right now, Tennessee just needs to get a shot on goal. And they finally do, courtesy Hamer. He gets the shooter's touch. 5-2, Big Blue.
I think they've got to go more to him. What's Kentucky's offense? They screen so well. Epps there. Oh, we got a hold, push off.
One thing, Hamer picking up that foul.
Excuse me, Tim. I was going to say one thing Kentucky does very well on their offensive end is their back screens, their down screens. They make it very tough on you.
There's that starting lineup. 3 guards going for Kevin O'Neill's team today. Trying to handle some of that pressure. Walter McCarty with a 3.
See, that's what kills you. Hamer has to come out and guard McCarty on the perimeter, and McCarty can fill it up. A 6'10" guy shooting threes.
I've said this before, Larry, and I think you concur. He is Robert Horry, only I think better than Horry was at this stage in his days at Alabama.
Good comparison. Runs the floor a little better.
Wharton can't hit. Saved nicely by Damon Johnson. Hamer working into that double team. Manages yet another foul. Our officials today, David Day, Rich Maracino, and Tom Lopes, the veteran official of this group, as you look at Rick Pitino.
Interesting, both possessions, or at least the last 2 the Tennessee's had, they've gone inside to Hamer, which is really, you know, if you look at their offensive strength, he's got to be one of them on the inside, and Kentucky has doubled down on both occasions. You'll see that a lot today. Kentucky will go in there and try to force him to kick the ball back out.
Hamer shoots at a 59% clip at the line, gets one of them to go. 8-3, a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Well, they've donned these new unis for the first time on the road as Walker goes reversal, making it look easy. He has 4.
Nice option. He could have come across the top on the screen, went baseline instead, and got the pass. Watch Kentucky's half-court defense. Good screen out there.
Aaron Green out there. Tony Delk comes away with it. Kentucky is 4 out of 5 to start the game from the floor. High percentage shots like that make it easy, as Walker has 6. And the lead is 9. And as usual, the Kentucky opponent can't wait for the first TV timeout.
Those runs have killed opponents for Kentucky this year,
particularly in the first 4 minutes of game.
Arkansas did a pretty good job against Kentucky the other day, and when they started out the game and they got a run on Kentucky, forced that to be a tight game in the first half.
Georgia had a nice comeback against the Big Blue in the second half the other night. Shot clock at 2. That'll be a violation. An offensive foul prior to the violation going against Hamer.
Is that his second foul?
Yes, indeed. So Kevin O'Neal can't get to the first TV timeout without falling behind by 9 and seeing his big guy pick up 2 quick personals. Not a good start for Tennessee.
These days, you're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does, too. Introducing the all-new 9.
Course to the Pine. And this is not the time for that to occur where Kevin O'Neal is concerned.
Well, it's one of those patented Kentucky runs, and Hamer with that offensive foul goes to the bench and probably will have to sit the rest of the half.
We talked to the quick starts. This year against Indiana, Kentucky got out of the gates 20-7. Against Ole Miss, 13-2. The prior meeting against Tennessee, 19-5. LSU at LSU, 23-7. TCU, 23-4. Walker hits again. He has 8. South Carolina 17-6, Vanderbilt 40-11. So the quick burst to open games has been the catalyst for these wide margins, these gaping holes in the opposition that Kentucky's left early in games.
And you know what, Tim? It can be psychologically devastating to you to know that you can give up 20 points that quickly and try to fight back.
Wharton draws the blocking foul from McCarty. His first.
I really like this freshman. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee. You know, he was one of those guys, we look at McCarty, who committed the foul. Wharton was one of those guys that kind of got overshadowed, I think, in that Nashville market because of Mercer's presence there. But he was really recruited very heavily by Tennessee right from the beginning. Kevin O'Neal likes this young man and thinks he's going to be a star of the future for the Volunteers.
Overton High School.
You know, he was recruited as a quarterback by Tennessee.
Yep.
I knew you knew that.
Everybody's looked at to play quarterback. Everybody wants to play quarterback at Tennessee, that's for sure. Or thinks about it. Tony Delk with a jump stop. Drawing the foul inside. That'll go against Aaron Green, his second. Now, Billy Packer last week decided to play Blackwell with the new uniforms. And I have to ask you, this is the first look that we've seen of the road unis. As an alumnus, what do you think?
I like them. I think they look very nice. In fact, they're a little bit darker than the trim they had on their home uniforms. I don't want to get into this debate because I really, very frankly, don't care. I got to tell you, you know, some people like them, some people don't. That's fine. I happen to think they look very nice today. I think they look very nice.
Well, give our good friend and colleague Billy Packer credit for causing a stir with a program that's 21-1. You know, when you're 21-1, if you're going to have any unrest, it's likely going to be with the uni. And by the way, who can blame him for looks? Mr. Armani. I mean, he should know what a uniform should look like.
How about Tony Delk missing 2 free throws and leading the Southeastern Conference in free throw shooting, and he let both of them go by the board. 83%, and Delk misses both.
Brandon Wharton. Delk brings it down.
Tony Delk, one of the better rebounding guards in the Southeastern Conference, averaging just over 4 a game.
Doesn't fall. Rebound taken down off the wood that time by Scott Moore. Moore into the game in Hamer's absence. Rashard Lee also on the floor, and that's Rashard with the shot. 14-7 Kentucky. Almost 6 minutes gone here at Thompson-Boling Arena. Sold to capacity in Knoxville. This matchup between bordering states, and Delk uses the window.
Well, that's a tough assignment down underneath for Shane Williams, who's probably the best perimeter defender that Tennessee has. And Delk posted him up in there and took him right to the glass. Delk is so versatile. I mean, he can get baskets as well inside as he can on the outside.
Pope now gets the double team help from Delk. Lee leaves it for Scott Moore. Pulled down by Antoine Walker. Mercer open on the wing. Pope the putback opportunity. That'll be a foul inside. Kevin O'Neill can't believe it. He felt there should have been a tie ball, and I'm not sure I disagree. I really believe he's right.
Well, go back and take a look. Here's why Kevin O'Neill is upset. Mercer with a shot, and by the way, every time he touches it, he's getting booed. As Pope goes back up, that's a wrong call. That should have been a jump ball, Tim. I agree with Kevin O'Neill. Watch Delk earlier. This is the play before when he goes inside and posts up Shane Williams. Tough guard.
In a game like this, particularly with the frenetic pace that Kentucky sets up, you have to go after loose balls as if they're yours, and that's really what Tennessee was doing that time, and unfortunately they were whistled for a foul.
Mark Pope going back to that glass again like he's been doing the last two outings. He's been terrific. 11 points, 11 rebounds against Arkansas, 14 points, 11 rebounds against Georgia.
And another turnover caused by Kentucky. Pope getting in the way, and the frustration etched on the face of Kevin O'Neill. Third turnover committed by the Vols. They had 2 in the first 3 minutes of the game.
He can't wait. He's going to put Hamer back in, even with those 2 fouls.
Hamer back on the floor. Richard Lee stays in, and Pope with a jump hook has 4. His confidence has grown tremendously just in the last couple of weeks. Mercer picks up the foul.
Tim, to kind of follow up on Pope a little bit, he was averaging 17 minutes a game in SEC play before the Arkansas and Georgia games. Rick put him in and allowed him to play an average of 32 minutes, and he responded with 2 double-doubles back-to-back. He has been terrific.
There's the trap. Williams breaks free. Hamer really wants it, but Pope putting a body on him.
Look at that 2-3 zone defense. Very active. They trap well out of this, too.
Williams with 4 on the shot. Johnson, after the ball fake, can't get it to fall. Tennessee, once they get into their half-court sets, doing a nice job of controlling the clock, but they fail to finish on many an occasion. Mercer off the dribble. Good work by Rashard Lee as the fans continue to give Mercer a hard time for obvious reasons. Hamer. Mercer brings it down.
Nice pass.
Into Pope. And the foul will be committed by Damon Johnson.
Anthony Epps leads Kentucky in assists at about 4.5 a game. In fact, he ranks 6th in the conference. He has an ability to find open people and get them the ball in a hurry, and he did it to Pope that time. One of the things that makes an assist work is the fact you got to be ready to receive it. See, Pope's got his hands up, ready to catch the ball. Anthony Epps delivered it right where you want it, right between the numbers.
So much was expected from Pope, Larry, when he came over from the University of Washington. Now he's really beginning to live up to those expectations, and they're never fair. They're never fair when you transfer to Kentucky.
I'll tell you one thing, Tim. I mean, I just finished talking about him for about 30 seconds, but I really think he may be a key to their club in the tournament because he has gotten so much better.
Hamer sneaks out. A rare breakdown by Kentucky's press, allowing Hamer the easy slam, and it's 21-9.
Good look by Shane Williams down floor. Nice pass.
Pope working in on Hamer. McCarty comes away with it. What a power move by McCarty. Won't go. Cleared down by Johnson. That's what you have to love about his game, though, Larry.
Yep. Does it inside, does it outside. And strong to the board. Here's a double down. McCarty and Pope on him.
Rashard Lee again. Too strong. McCarty and Hamer hooking up there on the baseline as Kentucky doing all they can to give Hamer a third. Timeout. 10:52 remaining opening half. Kentucky's lead. When you get a stuff against Kentucky, so why not? A Pizza Hut, you'll love this stuff.
Well, if you're a Tennessee Vol fan, you're going to love this stuff. Watch the pass by Shane Williams to the other end of the floor, and Steve Hamer right there to jam it through. Watch again. Closest Kentucky player to Steve Hamer sitting on the Kentucky bench. Nobody around on the floor. And that's your Pizza Hut stuff of the game.
Hamer takes another seat. Rick Pitino wasted no time in trying to bring a third personal foul against Hamer by having Pope post up against him on the offensive end, and O'Neal, smelling that, puts him back on the bench.
Tennessee's back in his own defense, and Shepard burns them.
Jeff Shepard, his first tray. Junior out of Peachtree City, Georgia. 24-9. 15-point cushion for Kentucky.
Good job by Damon Johnson that time to beat the press. Took his time, handled it. They got good spacing and got right between Kentucky's defenders.
Aaron Green looking for some help down low. With Hamer out of the game, Tennessee becomes very, very perimeter oriented. Johnson's with drive. And they run out of time yet again upon the rejection.
Good job by Pope in there helping a little bit.
Shepard again. Follows his own shot and was fouled by Rashard Lee. And Hamer will come back in. It only takes one sequence down the floor for Kevin O'Neal to come to grips with the fact that Steve Hamer's got to be out there.
You know, it was interesting watching Jeff Shepard there. I don't see many players continue to do this today, and that's follow your shot. Shepard right after his own missed shot as we take a 20.
Arkansas in a game that went down to the wire. Certainly the score not indicative of just how close it was. Knocking off Auburn 87-77. Kevin O'Neal with the 22nd timeout. Stay tuned at halftime when Dick Vitale presents the DirecTV Dish Out the Winners sweepstakes.
Probably a pretty good place for that timeout there. They needed a 20 to kind of gather themselves. Hamer back on the floor again for Tennessee. You ever talk to him? He's got the deepest voice. I mean, when he talks, the whole floor rattles.
Sort of that James Earl Jones sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice young man who fought through a few demons upon Kevin O'Neal's arrival, had contemplated giving up the game, quitting altogether, went to work, pumped up the iron, particularly the upper body, and having worked, Larry, as you know, at the next level seeing games, I can tell you scouts really believe this kid has a chance to play at the next level, maybe even a late first-round selection.
Well, he's improved his game so much. He's the only center in the league to rank in top in 6 categories in scoring, rebounding, and field goal percentage. He's in the top 6.
There's another steal. Mercer.
Boy, that pressure defense is so tough. You got to be prepared to handle it. Once Tennessee gets into their half-court game, they're all right.
And Aaron Green knocks one through. That ended a 14-2 run for Kentucky, and it's 28-12. Wayne Turner on the floor, number 5. Walker the alley-oop to Mercer. Tries it again and manages the foul.
Tim, I was talking about the pressure defense of Kentucky. Watch what happens right here. Mercer picks the ball up, gets it going the other way. As he gets it away from Brandon Wharton, throws that one through. But it's the pressure defense, the full-court defense, that if you're not a guard or a Tennessee player handling the ball and you're not alert enough, they're going to come up and get it from you. Kentucky's quick from behind and in front.
Mercer has not been a starter in the last 9 games, but he did start the first game of the season for the Wildcats. And he joined others like Roderick Rhodes and Jamal Mashburn during the Patino era to start their first game while freshmen. Shane Williams. Your guards had better shoot well when you're taking on the Big Blue.
Well, when you're shooting those threes, they're going to carry them long. Epps was there to gather that one in.
A steal by Aaron Green. Took it right away from Walker. Oh, and they got away with one there. Epps got away with one, and on the other end, McCarty puts it through.
Tim, I'm not sure if he got fouled or if Aaron Green just stepped and maybe hurt his ankle. He's limping.
Well, there was certainly contact. Whether a foul occurred, there was certainly contact to go along with his coming down gingerly.
Let's see what happens here. Tim, I can't tell from that angle. Let's see if Epps comes on the backside here and bothers his shot. No, he never touched him. He never touched him. I thought he just turned his ankle when he started to go up.
Well, you're right, and I really felt that I'd seen contact. That's a great no call. 32-12, and just like that, you're down 20. 8 minutes remaining in the half.
Now you got to fight back up that hill. This will be a rocky top.
Oh, indeed. Green can't hit it. 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, the Volunteers. Walker, oh my! And a dance to follow.
Boy, is he strong off of that glass.
Hamer, fouled by McCarty, a push.
Tim, you know, we talked at the top of the show about Kentucky's success on the road this year. I mean, their average victory margin is 25 points, and at home it's 20, and that's within the league. This team is so good on the road.
Yet another bluegrass blitzkrieg here in the land of the Big Orange. This time it's Antoine Walker with flair. Jefferson Pilot Sports Stations, Arkansas and Tennessee at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central Time. Others of you will see LSU and Mississippi State. That's this coming Wednesday. SEC basketball on Jefferson Pilot Sports. More bad news for those of you that follow Southeastern Conference basketball. Randy Livingston has left LSU, says he'll re-enroll in the fall, is going to spend the bulk of the remaining off-season to rehab his knee. And I think I speak for Larry and everyone else involved in following college basketball that we wish him well.
Yeah, indeed we do. It's really been a shame. That young man, I thought coming into the league, I was so excited to see him play, and he's had nothing but difficulty.
Hamer at the line. Well, the Wildcats shooting a paltry 57%. It's just amazing. You really can barely catch your breath before that man's team is all over you. And you're down 20 before you know it. Oh, nice dish inside again.
Edwards with a nice catch, went strong to the basket. Epps with a terrific pass.
Allen Edwards, the sophomore out of Miami, his first deuce. And a timeout. Already, Kevin O'Neill forced to call damage control timeouts. 7:03 remaining, and it's 36-14 Kentucky. We'll be back after this message from CarQuest Auto Parts.
Ball for the glass. They do a nice job of screening and making those cuts across the lane and finding open people. Anthony Epps again able to deliver a good pass.
36-14, along with Larry Connolly, Tim Brando as our afternoon fun-filled Saturdays of SEC basketball roll on Jefferson Pilot Sports. Hasn't been much fun for Tennessee so far today.
Back into that 2-3 zone, trapping out of it. Well, they match up well. Good communication, passing players on.
Wharton trying to get through that zone, and he just runs into a block party, and it leads to yet another turnover.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do, Tim, is try to dribble into the middle of this zone defense of Kentucky's, and Wharton was trying to take it in there, and the freshman needs to back out and use the perimeter.
Look at that bench scoring. 16-2. Walker missed the layup. And on the way up, he loses it. Saved nicely that time by Shane Williams.
Now Kentucky switches defenses. They're back into man-to-man.
Williams. Tennessee's guards shooting very poorly. 1 of 7 from beyond the arc today. Hence this 22-point deficit they face. Delk, the dump down to Edwards. Using the glass, it wouldn't come down. Rashard Lee hauls it down for Tennessee.
Hamer wants it against Pope. Wharton goes to the other side.
An unforced error by the Volunteers. Poor pass that time, and miscommunication between Green and Williams. There are very few openings that Kentucky will give you, Larry, and when you get them, you can't hesitate. And that's what they do to their opposition. They force them to hesitate, and then suddenly you're on your heels and it's over.
Well, I think part of it's nice lob to Pope.
He was hanging on that rim. That's why the fans are reacting, but he was doing so to protect himself. He had a player underneath him.
Look at Walker guard Wharton. 6'2 guard and a 6'8 forward. Now they make the switch.
See, Wharton had Hamer for just a second, and then once you lose him, he's gone forever.
Tennessee continues to work that perimeter.
Wharton knocks down the tray. Now, there's reason for optimism with this program, and the guards for the Volunteers, these young guards, are the reason. 22nd timeout called by Rick Pitino. 36-17. And we should mention that there are some big guns on the way for this Tennessee team. Devin O'Neal, his restoration project underway, and it's going to take a couple of years. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a BP best player from each team. In addition to recognizing our 2 best players, BP and its dealers will contribute $2,000 to the Southeastern Conference to be distributed among the member institution scholarship funds under a conference-approved plan.
Take a look again as you see Mark Pope trying to make his way down inside. Steve Hamer can't get there in time. Now, that's the reason he was holding on to the rim, because he was about to come down on top of Hamer. Pope fortunate to even get the ball back.
4.5 remaining in the opening half. Alley-oop. Not there. Shepard trying to bring it in from Antoine Walker.
Tennessee has smelled out those lobs pretty well here this afternoon.
Good ball reversal that time by Tennessee.
Yeah, see, Hamer got doubled down. He goes to Green. Green finds Wharton, and Wharton is open all by himself. Ball's very good in their half-court offense. 8
in the game for Wharton. Delk draws the foul yet again in the lane.
See, once again, now watch Hamer try to call for the ball. See, Pope's on the backside. Now, as soon as he gets it, look at Walker go to him. Now, then he kicks it out. Aaron Green gets it, moves it to Wharton on the other side, who nailed the 3. Good ball movement by the Volunteers, and it was initiated by Steve Hamer.
Delk at the line. The announcers for today's game, selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of this broadcast without express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Knocked out by Kentucky. Tennessee controls, trailing by 18 with just over 4 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Patience, look, watch the diagonal opposite, and Tennessee handles the press that time. One thing you don't want to do against Kentucky's press is get in a rush, unless you've got an excellent ball handler coming up on the dribble.
Aaron Green for 3.
Yeah, they're nailing threes now. This Tennessee club is 3rd in this conference in 3-point field goal percentage. Not surprising to see them making those shots.
Well, they've hit 3 in a row now after going 1 out of 7 to start the game. Pope. Walker on the offensive glass. That's an offensive foul. Wave it off. Rick Pitino is livid. Does not like to call it all.
Once again, Pope taking the outside shot. Walker with a good, strong rebound. Lowers that shoulder, and a good job by Damon Johnson to take the charge.
Yeah, that was a veteran flop, wasn't it?
A veteran flop.
A veteran flop. And I mean that in the most constructive sense. 38-23. Tennessee in the midst of a 9-2 run of their own. One they desperately needed. And Hamer's done a nice job of playing with the 2 fouls that he got in the first 4 minutes of the game. He sat only sparingly here in this half. Johnson can't get it to fall. Walker for 3. Aaron Green hauls it down.
Kentucky not shooting very well the last 5 or 6 minutes, particularly from beyond the arc. 0 for their last 5 attempts.
An ear steal by Anthony Epps. But even when they're missing, it's almost as if there's an explosion waiting to occur. Hamer gets an easy one. He has 9.
You know, that was a tough catch. I mean, he had to go up over Walker that time and avoid Pope.
Now the Tennessee faithful rise to their feet. Kentucky's been dry for the last 2 minutes. Derek Anderson is on the floor. There's Walker feeding Epps. And a reach-in foul against Wharton, who hits the deck.
One of the options Kentucky has off of this offense is to come over the top and curl off of those screens, or if you get overplayed over the top, make the backdoor cut and go along the baseline. Epps did, and that's the reason he got there, and the foul was by Williams on the backside. Kentucky's offense very, very good, particularly with those back screens. You got to fight your way over the top.
Anthony Epps, who has recently put himself in that same Mom's Sunday Best Dish category with my partner Larry Conley. Larry, of course, found many an open man in his day, and Anthony Epps doing much the same on that all-time list.
Got to root me out of the top 10. I'm about to drop out of there. Every time I see him, he says, I'm coming after you.
He will move into 10th very, very shortly.
Yeah, he's been a terrific player and will continue to be. Look at Wharton handling. Oh, he lost it. Made a good play, couldn't finish.
Epps looking for another assist. Delp can't finish. Walker going to the left hand.
Oh, was that terrific? With the left hand.
42-25, 17-point lead.
Tim, that was about as good a move as you'll see for a guy who is not left-handed going with the opposite hand.
Absolutely.
Watch Delk with a miss, but watch Walker follow up, get the rebound. Now, folks, this is a right-handed guy moving out away from the basket with a left-handed hook. That'll tell you how good he is.
That's his second personal foul. Sophomore out of Mount Carmel, Chicago, Illinois. By the way, you were talking about Epps. Just so you know, I don't want you to get too frustrated. He might pass you today. There's a chance. He's only 17 behind you as we speak.
Well, if he does it today, then he's going to have a remarkable day.
Walker, a runner, and the foul. That'll be his third. But see, this is what makes Pitino's team so tough. He can't really make a mistake going to his bench. So many coaches in college basketball, even Mike Krzyzewski's great teams, he had to make quality decisions during the course of a game based on depth or lack thereof. And Rick Pitino would be the first to admit, yeah, a guy might get a foul, but you know, the guy I'm going to put in isn't that bad.
That's right.
And I mean, he's likely to lead my team on another 10-0 run.
The guy who just reached down and grabbed off the bench is a local Nashville product, Oliver Simmons, the freshman, out of David Lipscomb High School. As you look at Rick Pitino squatting in front of his bench, what a terrific job he has done. Tell you one thing, he has sold these players on that national championship march. I mean, everybody's given up their numbers and playing together as a team, and that's a compliment to him.
He established a rotation in December, and he's had some guys in and out of the starting lineup. Obviously, Wayne Turner has been in and out of that starting lineup, but no one has ever frowned, no pouting. Each player knows his role.
Tim, and I think one of the reasons why they've been successful is that they didn't have any guys leave early. All their guys came back and did not go to the NBA draft. McCarty certainly had a chance. Delk had a chance. So they've got good senior leadership on this club.
Shot clock differential is at roughly 4.5. Wharton, high arching shot. Damon Johnson there to tip it in.
Ninth leading rebounder in this league, just under 7.
Kentucky just one field goal in the last 7 minutes of the half, and Tennessee manages to draw to within a baker's dozen. And when you're playing against Quick Rick's Cats, being within 13 is almost a close game. The level's 7, and in the second 10 minutes of the first half, Kentucky shot 31% and Tennessee 46%, and therein lies Tennessee's ability to claw back into the thick of it. Antoine Walker, a big first half, 12 points and 6 boards.
Did a little bit of everything. The second leading scorer. In fact, they had 3 of them. Walter McCarty had 5, Anthony Epps had 5, and Mark Pope had 5. For Tennessee, Steve Hamer was the leading scorer with 9 points and 4 rebounds, and Brandon Wharton had 8 points. 5 assists by Shane Williams in that first half.
It's a cliche, I know, Larry, but you talk to any coach, whether it's Kevin O'Neill or Rick Pitino, any of them will tell you the first 5 minutes of any half, and of course the last 5 minutes of any half, are the most important in a game. And certainly where Tennessee's concerned, if they can take any of the momentum that they gained in the last 3 minutes of that half and utilize it to their favor in the opening moments of the second half, it could change the complexion of this game.
Dougie opens up in a man-to-man. You can see Pope fronting Hamer in there.
And the second half starts just the way the first half did. A turnover. And Anderson, with a very athletic play to get it up on the glass, draws the foul against Brandon Wharton, his second.
Anthony Epps with a nice look up the floor. He saw Anderson streaking down that left side, and he delivered the ball to him just where he needed to. Anderson, who did not scratch in the first half, a chance to pick up his first 2 points.
The transfer from Ohio State, getting his usual dose of minutes as he opens the second half.
He has started the last 8 games for Kentucky. Really a solid all-around performer. And he's second on this team in steals, too.
Larry, I think there are those, though, that would tell you that he would have been one of the candidates to be upset not getting to play as many minutes, and yet has not been a problem at all. McCarty gets the turnaround.
Well, it's easy for him. Damon Johnson at 6'4", trying to guard Walter McCarty, 6'10". Real mismatch.
45-29. Pope with a body on Hamer.
Tim, that's a small lineup Tennessee's got out there right now, except for Hamer. Next biggest player is Damon Johnson at 6'4".
He gets a double pick, really, from Hamer that time. A wide-open shot that doesn't fall. Hamer had taken away 2 Kentucky defenders. Anderson, good dump down to Pope. Jump hook won't fall. McCarty clears. Delk.
Nice.
Oh, what a pass! TD finds Derek Anderson in the middle.
Boy, was that pretty. Kentucky right back with the pressure. Well, Wharton was fortunate to get rid of that basketball. Williams was there. He almost threw it to a Kentucky player. Changed his mind while he was in midair.
Just that quickly, the first 5 points of the half belong to the Big Blue. And they're off and running again. Going up for 3. That's when TDs become 3s. And that forces a timeout, Tennessee. '20-second timeout by the Volunteers. And suddenly that lead goes from 13 to 21.
Watch Delk make this move down inside. Boy, he drew the defense, and Hamer started to make a move to him, and Anderson was wide open on that baseline. But not only can he pass, folks, he can shoot, too. But everybody knows that. Tony Delk, now the leading guard to ever play as far as scoring goes in Kentucky.
That's right. He passed Louis Dampier a little earlier.
I gave Dampier a lot of those points, by the way, too.
You sure
did. I just want you to know that.
And, of course, past Ed Davender. You talk about some Iron Men numbers. Delk is certainly posting them at Kentucky. Shane Williams splits the double team.
That was a good play. Kept his dribble alive, didn't give it up, went right between them, and now Tennessee's into something they do very well, their half-court offense.
Scott Moore into the game, working against McCarty, and Walters called for the push. His third. You can hear as many boos as you can cheers. This house is pretty even today. The Kentucky faithful taking much of this upper deck at Tennessee, and of course the Volunteers, the more choice seats available to them.
I do see a sprinkling of blue in the lower section too, though.
Oh yeah, pretty low in the lower section in a few spots.
Here goes Hamer right back again with Pope on his backside. Now Hamer is forced out to go help.
Pope, that's a tie ball. Tom Lopes right on top of it. And the arrow to Kentucky.
Nice defensive play. Saw the arrow being switched back there by the scorekeeper.
Tennessee an over here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Kentucky already 3 of 4.
Anderson.
Boy, they set such good screens. He went right over Pope and Simmons' screen and was wide open at the free throw line. If Tennessee doesn't fight through those screens, they're going to have a terrible second half. Steal by Delk.
It's a 9-0 run to open this half. So the Big Blue doing exactly what they've done in the past. Early and often, in a quick hand check foul spotted against Brandon Wharton. That's his third. So it was a 13-point lead at halftime. And as we said, you're waiting for that eruption. You know it's going to come again, and it generally happens out of the gates to start a game and to start a half. Delk. 54 to 29.
I got to tell you, of all the guards I've seen play this year, and I've seen most of the good ones play, Tony Delk is the best I've seen at being able to stop and go straight up when he's on the dead run from about 8 feet in front of that basket. And that's a tough shot.
Hamer now takes it up against the double team. Can't get it to go. And a foul spotted inside. It'll go against Delk. His first.
Tony didn't argue. I think he knew he got caught at something. Rick Pitino's questioning the call right now.
Another push is spotted off the ball.
I think Simmons was holding underneath.
Holding Scott Moore.
Watch again. See, he's got him wrapped around right there. Yeah, I'd say that's holding.
Damon Johnson finds Shane Williams.
There's that double down on Hamer again. Boy, he's forcing him out away from the basket.
He needs help. Somebody's got to come to the ball. Johnson does, but a bit too late. As they hit the deck, the arrow this time will be to Tennessee on the tie ball.
Sam, Kentucky did a nice job of forcing Hamer out away from the basket with the ball, and he's on the sideline and really can't find anybody. Look at Simmons and Pope. They're all over him. Now he drops the ball down inside. There's Damon Johnson. Delk avoiding the foul. But look at Pope. He was on the sideline and came back and got that rebound.
Damon Johnson, just 1 of 7 today from the floor. There's another tie. I've seen as many tie balls today in a game as I've seen all year.
Tony Delk got a little piece of that ball as the shot was taken. Kentucky's so tough defensively. When you start to go to the basket, you can expect to see 5 denim-clad uniforms around you.
54-29. 4 minutes gone here in the second half. Tim Brando, Larry Conley, happy to have you with us. Simmons. Wharton brings it down and then loses it to Delk. Epps finds Delk on the wing.
Great ball movement. Delk was in no hurry, put it in Epps' hands, and he got another assist.
12 in the game for Delk. Kentucky 6 of 7 from the floor this half. 57-29. And Tennessee still looking to score. Epps, by the way, is only 8 short of your record.
Am I going to hear about this all afternoon?
He has 9 assists. He needs 17.
Okay. Good pass again by Epps.
Epps has 10. Pope on the receiving end. And the Big Blue with that volcanic eruption we talked about earlier. Lead by 30.
Watch this pass by Epps. Inside to Pope. Yeah, he can deliver it, and Pope can finish.
Dependability.
And Alabama. Big matchup in the SEC's Western Division. 59-29, Kentucky leading by 30. Not quite 5 minutes gone here in the second half as the Wildcats have outscored Tennessee 17-0 to start this half.
Kentucky back into that 2-3 half-court zone trap. Nice ball movement by Tennessee.
Rashard Lee ends the drought that lasted 5 minutes and 12 seconds to open this half for the Volunteers.
Shane Williams having a good day distributing the basketball, much like Anthony Epps has for Kentucky.
By the way, Epps' career high in assists in a single game, 13 set last year against LSU.
What's he up to, 10?
10 now. 7 shy of passing you on the Kentucky assist list for the 10th spot. Delk finds Epps. Well, if you give, you must then receive.
Absolutely. Nice pass back there to Anthony Epps. Well, is he getting it done? You know, I talked about he and also Mark Pope at the beginning of the show about how they've really picked this club up. In their last 2 games, they have been outstanding.
Mercer, a jump stop.
Look at Pope. Simmons.
On the deck, and yet another tie ball with the arrow this time to the Volunteers. But you know, as many tie balls as we've seen today, Larry, I think that's further proof of what Kentucky does to you. Their frenetic pace forces loose ball opportunities, which end in scrums. They make you look very bad that way because that organized chaos is what Pitino's style is really all about.
And it's much more organized than you think.
Oh, you betcha.
Kentucky's back into a man-to-man defense. Boy, they switch a lot on this man-to-man.
Pope got Hamer with the arm, it appeared. His second. Rashard Lee will trigger it in. Kentucky is doubled up on Tennessee, leading by 31, 62-31. Hamer reads the double and finds Damon Johnson.
That's a good play. Johnson with a smart move. He saw the double, even triple team coming, and went right back inside, and Hamer delivered the ball.
Rashard Lee picks up the foul against Mercer, breaking up that alley-oop. That's about the only thing Kentucky has not converted on.
Watch Hamer now. See, there's a triple team. Simmons started. Shepard did go, and when he left him, Damon Johnson just broke to the basket. You got to be smart enough to realize that when you see a guy being doubled up, get to the open spot. Johnson did, and Hamer got him the ball.
Shepard. Simmons keeps it alive. Up and over Johnson. His first basket.
Well, that's a nice tip in to avoid contact and get the ball to go down.
A double at midcourt. Johnson gets it into the hands of Wharton. Johnson's been struggling with his shot, really not looking to take one. And Hamer unable to get free in that tight Kentucky zone inside. Johnson knocks it home. He's had a tough day. hitting that perimeter shot.
One of the things, if you allow Tennessee to run their offense, they're very potent. Kentucky's been able to go out there and push that defense on them and made it very difficult.
He has 6 on the game, 64-35. That'll be a push inside against Johnson. Checking Shepard that time, his third. Aaron Green coming back into the game for the Volunteers. Our nationwide insurance scholar athlete of the week is Arkansas's Sunday Adebayo, the junior from Nigeria. Had a perfect 4.0 GPA in English last semester. His first at Arkansas. Our congratulations to Sunday, our nationwide insurance scholar athlete of the week. Now, he did not play earlier today because of some records and transcripts from his junior college that had come into some scrutiny. There's a very good chance that that's not going to be a problem, but Frank Broyles, the athletic director at Arkansas, felt that it was in the best interest of the school to limit his play until they've worked that out. So although he was suspended today, it was because of records and transcripts from his junior college days, not anything going on in his fall semester at Arkansas.
And they won today, too. Beat an Auburn team that had been playing very well.
And you consider Jesse Pate didn't play as well. That was a very big victory for Nolan Richardson this afternoon. Really one of those kind of games you can't afford to lose in this league. A home game in which you're favored.
And Arkansas has lost a couple of games at home this year.
Hamer just picked up his third on a clear out. He picked up 2 in the first 4 minutes. Really did a nice job of not picking up his third foul until now, as we're under the 12-minute mark in our game.
Got an illegal screen. I think maybe Turner's going to pick this one up.
Rick Pitino begs to differ. Pitino playfully. David, did you really see that? I don't believe it. We'll be back, 64-35. Wayne Turner leaves it for Pope. Walker. It's got a very quick release down there. Even if it's a turnaround jump shot or a layup, his release is one of the quickest I've seen.
2 possessions in a row now. Walker's turned it over and then thrown up what I consider a very poor shot. Good job by Pope defensively to slap that one away, and they've got Shepard away.
He sneaks out.
Can he get up?
7 in the game for him, 66-35. Walter McCarty will come in on the next dead ball.
Tim, this club, Kentucky, I'm talking about, continues to play well on the road. I mean, their numbers have got to be as good as any team in the last decade in college basketball and playing and winning on the road.
Now their margin of victory, as you mentioned at the top of our show, is 25 points on the road to 20 points at home. I guess Rick allows the Cats to call off the Dogs a little sooner when playing at Rupp Arena. Shepard.
Did you see Mercer point?
Yeah, he was ready.
He wanted the lob, and Shepard said, no, I'm going to start it back out again.
Turner takes it into the lane and draws the foul. Brandon Wharton has 4. Shane Williams will come into the game. Rashard Lee sits down. Pope also takes a seat. Kevin O'Neill never stops coaching. And now, with intensity.
I got to tell you, I stopped by their practice session yesterday and spent about an hour and a half in here watching them go through everything. This guy really, really works on his club. He realizes it's been a struggle. They're 11-10 right now, 4-7 in the league. But I would tell you, yesterday they were going through the Kentucky stuff through their scouting team, and he was out there teaching, working, trying to get this club ready to play. Maybe the best team in the country, certainly one of the top 2 teams. Never gives up. Real competitive.
Shepard will pick up a hand check. His second foul. And I point up the time of possession and what Tennessee's going to do. Larry, he's asking a lot of these guys to understand that he wants as much of that 35-second shot clock used, but also be aggressive when the shot is there.
Right.
That's a tough thing for kids to learn.
It's very, very tough. Well, that good trap by Kentucky. Watch Tennessee move the ball.
Hamer is in position. Shot clock at 6.
See, Tim, what made that work was Hamer looking across to the other side. He got it to Wharton, who got it to Johnson. You got to look opposite when that double down comes. Not to the same side of the floor, but the opposite side.
66-37, 11 minutes gone here in the second half. Kentucky out to a 17-0 spurt to open the second half. Took a 13-point lead, and it ballooned to 30.
Walker not having a good second half. That's the third time in a row they've had possessions down there that he hasn't handled the ball very well. A bad shot, in fact, 2 bad shots and a turnover.
Johnson again, and he's beginning to warm up. 10 in the game for him. Cooper will come in on the next whistle. Shepard.
Great pass. Oh, good pass.
Not much other than the finish that was missing there.
There was a good screen. Shepard got free, and Walker made a terrific pass into that lane.
High lob for Hamer.
Smart play. Nobody there to contest him. Let him go ahead and finish it off.
His first basket of the second half. He has 11 on the day. 66-41. McCarty with a mismatch.
No way Damon Johnson can guard him. 6-inch differential, and McCarty so strong with his back to the basket. Nice little turnaround, Jay.
Oh, there was a sin, but it was saved by Johnson, but he walks in so doing. Brandon Wharton made the unfortunate error of tossing that one back towards the opposition's goal. Well, when you're young, you make those mistakes. 7:31 remaining. It's a 68-41 lead for Kentucky. 68-41, Kentucky with a 27-point lead. 7:31 remaining. Yes, so what does a quality women's basketball coach do when she's got a little time off? She watches the men play basketball. Pat Head Summit. Her team ranked 5th nationally, and of course, as recently as this weekend, Vanderbilt knocking off Georgia, ranked #1. Quality Southeastern Conference again for women's basketball as McCarty is fouled off the inbounds pass. Rashard Lee picks up his 4th foul as McCarty gets to the stripe.
You know, Tim, along the way, you look at Kentucky's basketball schedule for the rest of the season before the Southeastern Conference, and Rick Pitino, I tell you what, he's coached pretty hard over there today. I mean, he hasn't let this Cub, he's not going to let them lay it up all the way down this road till they get that march into New York City, actually into New Jersey, I guess.
I will tell you this, though. I think he's got reason for concern, Larry. When you're beating people as badly as Kentucky's beating people, you wonder, when you come down to cases at season's end, how your team responds when you've got a game on the line and a possession, and one possession makes the difference. Count it, and a foul. Pope makes it go. I point back to the year when UNLV ran roughshod out west, came in to play Duke in the NCAA tournament, and finally they found themselves behind in a crucial situation, and it was obvious that they weren't prepared as well as they might have been had they been pushed a bit more during their regular season chase.
Yeah, but given the option, I'm going to tell you, the coach is going to say, I'll take the blowout.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to have any close basketball games. But right now, Rick Pitino, as we take a little time out here, he's got a club that is going to continue to play the way they're playing, and they're not about to back off on anybody. No. I mean, they're going to continue to turn up the notch, make the defense play a little harder. The offense is getting better. It's one of those things that as you head toward tournament play, This Kentucky club has got maybe one more tough game, maybe at Auburn. At Auburn could be a tough game because War Eagle, the Tigers play awfully tough on their home floor.
And their guards are quality shooters. And anytime your guards play well, you have a chance against a Kentucky. That's why UMass won, if you think about it. Both Padilla and Travieso played very well, and they had the big fella in the middle, Camby, that had a career game. So you see Rashard Lee is out of the game with 5 fouls. You know, and it's easy for, let's face it, we're paid at times to think about what could go wrong. Well, on a team that has very little going wrong with it, that's one of the things that I would be curious to see before the season runs out or before they get into the tournament, how they respond being behind late in the game.
Well, not very much has gone wrong with this Kentucky club except the controversy over their uniforms.
That's right. Johnson draws the foul. Delk and Pope were there. Tony's going to pick it up, his second.
You know, you mentioned a couple other clubs around the country that maybe could challenge Kentucky for this national championship. I really think there's only basically 6. I don't think there's much beyond that. And a couple of them reside in the Big East. Of course, that's got to be Villanova and Connecticut. You know Massachusetts is going to be there. And I think Kansas is an awfully good basketball team. And just up the road, about 90 miles north of Lexington, University of Cincinnati. I think they've got a shot, too.
Pope left free over Hamer. Dealt the putback. Pope keeping it alive. Finally, Aaron Green comes down with it. And a foul spotted. It goes against McCarty as 4th.
One of the things everybody starts to look for in the NCAA tournament at this time of the year are the dark horses. You know, you always have one club that jumps up that surprises people, that maybe makes to the final 16, maybe the Elite 8. You start looking around the country, and it'd be hard-pressed to find many clubs around. Maybe Memphis. I might throw Memphis as one club in there. I'll give you one other one, Stanford. I might throw Stanford into that mix, too. I think Mike Montgomery's got a pretty good club out there. They're challenging for that Pac-10 championship.
McCarty,
oh,
what a spin move.
Oh, what a finish.
Are you special?
Wow.
McCarty makes it 75-41. Now, that's an example of why I say he's a Robert Horry type, only better now than Horry was at that stage in his career. Pope with the quick outlet to Tony. And Delk is fouled by Damon Johnson. That'll be his 5th. And Tennessee beginning to run out of bodies.
Watch Mark Pope deliver the ball. Delk streaking to the other end. He just catches it, and Damon Johnson can do nothing but foul or attempt to block the ball as Tony Delk goes to the line. Maybe to redeem himself a little bit. He missed 2 free throws in that first half. He is the league's leading free throw shooter.
Johnson fouls out of the game with 10 points on the day. Young man from Hiawassee Junior College, Johnson City, Tennessee, as Delk gets to the stripe. And Kevin O'Neal using this opportunity to get his licks in with his team. He wants them to play hard. And let's face it, this is a program right now that is has its eyes set on an NIT bid. They only won 11 games last year. He inherited a program that had won 5 games the year preceding. He believes if his team can finish with 14 wins, they're bound for the NIT, and it gives them something to build upon as that second year of recruits elevate to their sophomore campaigns, and then the new crop of freshmen come to Knoxville.
Tim, take a look at Damon Johnson. Look at his eyes. He is listening to every word that Kevin O'Neal is saying. Now, that says a lot about a coach. When he's sitting there instructing and you're down by this much, he's learning. Kevin O'Neal continues to teach. I really think he's one of the better coaches in the country.
Maurice Robertson is in the game now, number 42 in white.
And I think once his talent level comes up a bit more, I think a lot of people around the country will start to pay him the type of homage that he deserves.
Hamer knocks it in using the window. 13 for Hamer. Now he's got the same construction process underway as he did in Milwaukee at Marquette University. And that team with McIlvain and Damon Key that managed the Sweet 16 and an appearance knocking off Kentucky in the NCAA tournament.
In this building.
Turner, not there. Out of bounds to the Volunteers. If you think back to that particular team that knocked off Kentucky, that Marquette club, they pushed around Kentucky. They were physical. He wants a physical style of team, and that means bring in some frontline talent, which is on the way next year. Anderson. Oh, hello.
Boy, that was a quick move to the basket. I mean, quick.
79-43.
Aaron Green tried to shake Anderson over there, and it went off of Green's foot.
See, Anderson makes that great move, and then he just plays with the same intensity on the defensive end, and now he comes out of the game.
That's the last you're going to see of the starters. Pretty good effort today. McCarty, Anderson, Delk, all heading for the bench. Anthony Epps gives Delk a little pat on the head. Very deep club, very talented.
And very happy as they embrace. It's a love fest over there. The game is awfully fun when you win the way Kentucky wins. 79-43, 4:15 and counting. Volunteers, by the way, have turned it over 18 times. Muhammad. Nazim Muhammad.
Hey, Muhammad's starting to get himself in shape. He's dropped some pounds since he arrived at Kentucky.
Green on the other end. That's the first Tennessee tray in this half. You'll recall when they made that run to close the half and cut the Kentucky lead to 13, they had hit 3 in a row. And a foul inside against Maurice Robertson.
Robertson, one of those players I talked to Kevin O'Neill about yesterday. He said, this guy's a good offensive player, but his defense is lacking. He started at the 4 spot 5 times this year, and I think he really maybe has a chance to be a pretty decent player. Keep an eye on him, Maurice Robertson. Good size, 6'5", 220, out of New Orleans.
San Augustine High School, where he teamed with Kerry Kittles. Very aggressive rebounder.
Walker's not made a free throw today. In fact, he's 0 for 3.
That's really the only problem with Kentucky's game today has been their team free throws. They have struggled at the stripe. Excuse us, fellas. Every now and then we have to point up something that's gone wrong. Very little has. We'll be back. Let's take a look at our all-tell play of the game.
And certainly one of the better ones Tim and I have had a chance to witness this year as Walter McCarty makes a nice spin move against Damon Johnson. Baseline, up, nothing but net. Tell me that's not an NBA move.
It is an NBA move.
I said, don't tell me that.
By the way, Larry, we were talking about the history of this rivalry, particularly when played in Knoxville. Robertson turns it over with an extra step. The last time Kentucky won 3 consecutive years in Knoxville, you have to go back to a run of games from 52 to 59. That's how far back you have to go. Now, Kentucky is about to win their 3rd consecutive game in Knoxville. Last time a team from Kentucky lost here, that Final Four team in '93. And I'm just amazed that those great teams in the 80s, with the teams with Bowie and Turpin, Hurt, that those teams never won in Knoxville.
Well, it's tough coming in here to play. And, of course, the talent level of Tennessee was not that bad in the 80s.
You're right, absolutely. And a foul as Mercer was taking it to the hoop. Shane Williams picking it up. Another factor, too, Larry, is I've been around this league quite a while, and I felt that Stokely was one of the more difficult places to play on the road.
Oh, it was.
I mean, it was a very difficult place to play. And this new arena, and it is a 5-star building, has become a very difficult place for any coach to pack. And I think that it points up the building process that you have as a coach. Wade Houston knew it. It really became an albatross for him. And in the case of Kevin O'Neill, I really think he's got a chance of packing this house for games other than Kentucky in this program's future. But it doesn't make his job any easier that the building that he plays at home is not a pit.
Right. But I think there are a lot of people, particularly the UT fans, that have confidence that man's going to get it going. He has ruffled a few feathers along the way, but sometimes when you're trying to get things done or accomplish it and move the program in a different direction, that has to happen. Kevin O'Neill came here and darn near cleared the whole house. I mean, he almost got rid of everybody. Right now, he's got it in the direction he wants it to go.
Antoine.
He thinks he may be a year, maybe 2 years away from being where he wants to be.
Antoine Walker picked up that foul.
By the way, while we're sitting here talking about this, we've got a few things to discuss. What do you think about these denim uniforms at Kentucky's?
I knew you'd ask.
Come on. You nailed me in the first half.
We're just trying to keep the ratings up in Lexington.
Yeah, right.
Walker's turnaround not there. And Hamer reels it in. Well, the next dead ball, I'll give you my my critique.
Well, I'm sure the audience is anxiously awaiting.
Wharton runs the curl. Hamer takes it right away from Shepard, and then Muhammad knocks it away. Well, I got to be honest with you. I honestly prefer blue for blue. And that looks a little like tie-dye from a distance. I'm not a real fan of the shade, the pattern, okay? So if you're the big blue, wear blue. And there's the 5th foul on Walker. So you asked, and I gave you my response.
That's fine. Players like it. I asked them before the game. They like the looks of the uniform.
Well, in the words of Ed Murphy, the former coach at Ole Miss, who's now at Western Carolina, he told us in the years when Michael Jordan started wearing the black shoes, remember that? He said, you know, if Michael Jordan decides to wear a tutu, that's what everybody's going to want to wear.
Well, one of the things, Kentucky has a great basketball tradition, and most people who follow SEC basketball know that. In fact, most people around the country know that. Sometimes the color of uniforms and the importance of the way they're designed, important to those people who are traditionalists. Sure. And there's a lot of people out there like that.
Mercer working on Green. That is sweet, isn't it? What's not to like about what's within that uniform?
And that's the most important thing, really. The young men who wear these uniforms.
Shane Williams gets away from Mercer. Mercer falling away. Ripped down by Hamer. Wharton draws the foul. Simmons should pick this one up. Let's take a look at our BP best players for the game. So many to choose from where Kentucky's concerned, but Tony Delk, as he oftentimes does, gets the most out of his minutes. 14, 7, and 3 for him. Hamer, 13, 9, and 2 blocks after picking up 2 quick fouls before breaking a sweat in the first 3 minutes of our game.
Yeah, Tim, one of the things I think a lot of people around the country who know Tony Delk and how well he plays, you don't realize that he's putting these numbers up, averaging just over 25 minutes a game. I mean, he's like at 25.7 minutes, averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, leads the league in three-point shooting and free throw shooting. I think that's remarkable. We're talking about 15 minutes he's spending per game on that bench.
Now, I'm not sure if that was a touch pass from Edwards or if the ball just deflected off his hands. If it was a touch pass, it was a thing of beauty.
Let me make it easy for you. He fumbled it.
Thank you. But, you know, after you watch the diagonal passing of this Kentucky team, you can be reeled in that a play like that might be done purposely.
It's another young man from Tennessee. Oliver Simmons out of Nashville. As you take a look at that Kentucky bench, Anthony Epps, Nick Anderson, Hope.
(87-49). Kentucky's largest margin of victory this year, 39 against Vanderbilt. And right now, they have a chance to go over that. They are 1 bucket away from winning this one by 40.
Let's go, guys.
And again, you do it at the beginning of the game and at the start of the half. And it's over. He just takes you right out of the game. There are the people that have made this telecast possible today. Lonnie Dale and Wendy Voigt calling the shots in the truck, along with the rest of our Jefferson Pilot sports crew. Our executive producer is Jimmy Rayburn. Shepard. A 3 for Shepard. And the lead is 40. That would be their largest margin of victory on the road if it holds up. And it will. That's it. Rick Pitino's Cats move to 22-1 and remain number 2 with a bullet. Back to wrap it up after this word from your local SEC station.